Yeah, so I appreciate that question because I get that a lot. Me, I'm a small investor, not a huge institutional investor, just small. And I would say to just a normal man or woman, as far as how to get started, especially if you're young, pay things off and get your personal finances in order. And that's kind of how we did it. We paid off our student loans quick, then we paid off our house quick. We just made extra payments and we built equity in that home, and then we could borrow against that real estate to build this real estate.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Kessel, and today I'm joined by someone I'm looking forward to chatting with, Cody Elliott, who has a storage unit real estate investing business. So excited to have you here today, Cody.
Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, definitely. I think our listeners are really going to take something away from how you're approaching your storage unit business. So let's dive in. First off, for those not familiar with you and your work yet, can you share what your main focus is these days?
Yeah, so my primary business since 2012 has been equipment sales. So I sell small construction equipment, livestock handling equipment, trailers. And what kind of got me started in my interest in real estate, well, my grandparents had some rental houses when I was a kid. So I learned early I didn't want to be in the residential rentals. But when we built our shop here for our equipment business, we started thinking about the diversification, of our long term, I guess, investments. So we had the opportunity to buy some storage units here in Marlow where we live. So it's been a really good experience so far. Like I was telling you, we bought them in 2022, and then we've pretty much been 100% full since then. And, learning the process of rental contracts and tenants, dealing with those. And then we hope to, grow that business where the place we have some bare land that has the opportunity to continue to grow that. So
Awesome. And are you only operating currently in your Oklahoma market?
yes, so far right now in a little small town called Marlow, Oklahoma, which is southwest Oklahoma, about a town of 4,000 people. And then we own some land next to an industrial park in a small town called Duncan, Oklahoma, about 20,000 people. And so that's our future goal too, if is possibly growing that business and getting another location close to us, but probably stay close to Marlow, easier to manage, in southwest Oklahoma.
Awesome. What do you feel have been some of the main keys that make the biggest difference in allowing your business to be able to grow and to run smoothly?
Yeah, on the real estate and storage unit business, I think we just have a strong market here. We're limited on space, so that helps obviously. But trying to navigate those good tenants in the in the application process, I guess you'd say, and keeping good tenants. That's been a learning curve. So, like I said, mostly we've been pretty much full since we've owned them. We've had a little bit of turnover, but the good thing we've had long-term tenants in our units so far. So
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah. And how has that operational journey looked like for you?
yeah, so that the funny thing, when just jumping into the real estate, especially on the rental side, was what insurance do I need? What contracts do I need? And like I say, most of my tenants are, I guess you'd call them commercial customers. They run or store business assets there. So that's kind of nice. And my units have an office. So I do rent out an office space to a customer, a tenant, and, normal wear and tear, maintenance, garage doors going bad, breaking down, electrical breakers getting flipped in the middle of the night and, things like that. So learning, the operational side of it as well as getting payment on time, keeping people in there, communicating them when they get ready to move out. That way I don't miss a month of revenue on a unit.
Yeah, absolutely. That's important. What's been some of the biggest challenges that you've experienced?
So far, I would say the biggest hurdle, especially to profitability, has been my increase in insurance, my liability and property insurance, as well as our property taxes. I see those as, I feel like you can't raise the rates fast enough, especially when you're not turning over tenants. You want to keep good tenants, so you don't want to keep raising their rates. But at the same time, costs are going up, utilities. It is in city limits, so we have to use municipal utilities, and as a business account, they add a business fee. Now, Oklahoma does have some of the lowest um, utility rates, electrical rates, I think in the region, so that's nice. But that balancing all those bills and you never know your property insurance and property taxes. If they're going to increase 5 to 10% a year, then I've got to keep up with my rental charges, my fees.
Yeah, definitely. And as far as gathering like the investments and managing the storage units, what have been some of the major lessons that you've learned?
Yes. So, luckily, I haven't had to deal with any legal issues yet. But so far, it's been preventive maintenance, of course, and taking care of the property. And we have units are highway frontage, so I'm looking to try to maximize that frontage. Whether I could supplement the broadside of a building for some advertising just to get extra revenue. Adding my units have lights and things like that, so I can upsell the quality of the unit. It's not just a dark, powerless unit. So trying to learn to upsell the rate, because my units have more to offer and the location and so those are some of the things I'm working on and learning about. So, and being able to respond to tenants and things like that.
Yeah. And are you managing everything from the day to day operations as well?
Pretty much. I'm the I take all the calls and things like that, and then of course any major maintenance, outsourcing that, that will be something that we'll have to work on as we grow. And, with our primary business, and I don't know if I told you, but I'm running for state House of Representatives. So obviously if I get into office, I'll be busier, so learning to manage that as we grow, especially if it's multiple locations, may have to work with a property manager, or have somebody, you outsource, of course, your lawn mowing and your general maintenance. So balancing those as a secondary business from my primary business, that it's just you can learn a lot of life lessons through that.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Definitely. And as far as like your equipment business, does that like fit into the real estate, or what type of equipment are you selling?
Yeah, so most of my so used equipment as far as construction equipment, scissor lifts, light towers, and then a lot of skid steer type attachments, so implements. So most of my customers are construction customers, construction, contractors. And so that's been one good thing is that if I need an overhead door or plumber or electrician, I've already got a lot of relationships out there from guys that I've done business with in the past. And like I said, we built this shop that I'm sitting in 2020, 2021. And after we built this little shop, it's on a couple acres. And contractors, my customers have told me, hey, we need more little shops like this. There's nowhere to rent small shop space. And so it kind of got my wheels turning too, for future, growth, as well as maybe looking at the opportunity to, build some small shops like this, small square footage for contractors who, need to rent just a small space. So I think there's a lot of opportunity in the future for that as well.
Yeah, definitely. That's exciting. What advice would you give to someone that's looking to also start investing in self-storage?
Yeah, so I appreciate that question because I get that a lot. Me, I'm a small investor, not a huge institutional investor, just small. And I would say to just a normal man or woman, as far as how to get started, especially if you're young, pay things off and get your personal finances in order. And that's kind of how we did it. We paid off our student loans quick, then we paid off our house quick. We just made extra payments and we built equity in that home, and then we could borrow against that real estate to build this real estate. We did the same thing with our farm. Pay one thing off quick as you can, then use it. You have I guess you'd call it leverage, or that relationship with the bank that you have assets. It's easy. You have collateral and you can call your bank and they're quick to, the process goes quicker when you want to borrow money from them. So definitely getting your personal finances in order before you become a business investor for sure matters, and have some cash on hand. That down payment, the more cash you have, the more negotiating power you have when a deal comes available. So that would be my biggest advice, is get your personal finances in order.
Yeah, absolutely. That's important for people to get sorted.
Yes, for sure. I would like to, as we grow this, of course, I'm learning on the job about real estate, but that would be great if I could become more of a partner, a group, or as I learn more about these things, and I would love to, branch out into other real estate investments. So I'm learning, just dabbling in my toes in the water here, trying to learn as I go, and not get so big that the risk isn't there, that if I fail, that life ends. So
Yeah, absolutely. And what are you most focusing on solving or scaling to next?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Yep. So as far as my real estate investments, our storage units. So right now they're kind of a drive through, like I was telling you, a drive through, double door. They're great for small business space, things like that. Easy access, you can pull through. So the property we have, um, my long term goal is to do RV storage. All the RV storage around here is full, so that's my goal, is to do RV storages. And so I've got room at our property here in Marlow to probably add 10 units there. And then at my property in Duncan, it's 3 acres right next to an industrial park. So I may I may do a mix. It kind of maybe depends on zoning and cost structure. But again, I would possibly like to look at, some kind of commercial rentals, or if not, just general storage or RV storage there. That's our long-term goal with those two properties.
Yeah, amazing. Are there any mistakes that you've made along your journey that you'd like to share with others so that they can learn from them?
Yeah, especially like in the negotiating or construction phase, like in our real estate here at the shop. I used, of course, a contractor that I knew, a friend, and then all of our subcontractors were friends and locals. So it's very hard when it's difficult when you need to have a hard conversation with a friend, and same with tenants. So my rental tenants, they're all local. They're a lot of them are business people, and it's really hard to have to call them multiple times to collect rent, or if they possibly break something. So I would say a good life lesson is that balance between personal relationship and business. You have to keep those two kind of separate. And so that's definitely in business in general, and in real estate, I'm learning that, put it in writing, put it in paper, agree on it up front, set the expectation of what each of you expect of each other. And then when problems arise, then it's pretty black and white who's responsible.
Yeah, absolutely. That's an important one. So, what does the day to day look like in terms of managing these facilities?
Well, luckily it's been pretty easy. Day to day. It's, just making sure, the lawn gets mowed, and payment is in within, 3 days of when it's due at the first of the month. So the rental side, like I said, I've got great tenants. They don't call me much. So I'm blessed there to be fully occupied and have great tenants. But the day to day, of course, always thinking about my property taxes and property insurance, those input costs. How can we be more efficient on utilities there? And remembering all the preventive maintenance of the doors and the locks and things like that. So far it's been a great experience. And like I said, I have an experience through my grandparents with residential rentals. I want to stay away from that, so the single family or multifamily homes. Right now, I'm not interested in any of that. So that's the reason I'm thinking about expanding into like an RV storage. They won't be in there every day. It's not like they'll be coming in and out all the time. They won't live there full time. So I hope that the maintenance would be easier that way. And people that own RVs, of course, hopefully wouldn't have a problem making their monthly rental payment. So that's kind of my goal there.
Yeah, awesome. Do you have any other goals for the rest of this year?
For this year, and it's a crazy year. Like I was telling you, I'm running for state House of Representatives here in Oklahoma. So my election's in June. So we've kind of gone, all right, what happens in June determines our future here. But yeah, that like I say, my plan is, and I'm bad about this, and I'm sure other investors can maybe understand this. I have always been a cash pay it off type person. I don't like a lot of debt. Maybe I look too much of the Dave Ramsey side instead of like the Robert Kiyosaki side. But, in order to grow, we're going to have to take on good debt. So start thinking about that long term plan of either paying, the storage units off that we have now and then using that equity to, for construction on the new ones. But we don't want to wait too long that we miss the opportunity to go ahead and fill up those new units, build them and fill them up. And so even if we start construction right now on these new units we want, we're probably looking a year out before, at capacity or, before the construction's completed. So one of those deals trying to plan out 12 to 18 months and making sure we don't wait too long and miss an opportunity. So thinking about that in the real estate side for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are important things to plan and get ahead of.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, before we wrap up here, if someone wants to reach out, connect, learn more about what you're up to, where can people find you and connect with you?
Yeah, you bet. So my equipment business is Frontier Equipment Sales in Marlow, Oklahoma. They're welcome to reach out to me through Facebook. My personal account is Cody Elliott. Business account is Frontier Equipment Sales, Frontier Storage LLC. Our phone numbers on both of those businesses. You can call 580-475-8879. And like I said, reach me through pretty much any of the social medias. Would love to talk to, especially a newcomer like me. That if somebody's looking to get into real estate, welcome to reach out to me. Business, men's ministry, if you want to talk about family, business, real estate, politics, we can talk about any of those things. So would love to connect with anybody.
Perfect. Well, appreciate your time and your story. Thank you so much for being here.
You bet. Thank you, Michelle. It was great.
Of course. And for those listeners tuning in, if you got value, make sure you have subscribed. We have more conversations with operators like Cody who are building real businesses, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.